Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of In Lay Terms. As you can tell, I'm completely disorganized. We're running late. Sorry for the few minutes delay. We have back with us Miss Emily Duggan. Emily, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me, Payman.
No, I was like, yay! The first person I know that's reached celebrity status, possibly for the wrong reasons.
I wanted to be famous so bad when I was little, and I always told my mom I'm going to be famous one day. Well, look at me now. Here's my 15 minutes. I best not waste it.
You're not only famous, I guess you're infamous now.
Yeah, I guess so. It's who knew one handshake and one F-bomb could make such a ruckus.
So So I saw that. Yeah, this stuff always pops up. There's always one other person engaging in shenanigans. And when I heard what I heard, I burst out laughing. But I didn't know it was you. I thought it was just some random citizen.
I am some random citizen.
No, but I mean, like a country of 40 million. What are the odds that someone I know is the one that says that to the prime minister?
I know. Some of my friends are like, "Man, you're giving me mad clout right now." But yeah, I don't. I didn't post that with any intention on going viral. Um, it all happened very spontaneously. There actually was no plan. The purpose of me posting that, I posted it immediately. I was still walking away from the conversation, statement, I don't know, encounter. What are we going to call this? I'm not sure. But I was on my way walking back to the car when I posted it because I thought to myself, nobody is going to believe me that this just happened. And they're going to probably arrest me for some stupid reason and take my phone and delete this video. And so it was the first thing I did was I posted it simply to as evidence of the story that I would be telling. Um, and it just went wild.
We got a comment from Prairie. I'll bet that felt good to tell him.
Yeah, honestly, there are a lot of feelings. Good was one of them. It, to be completely honest, and I do think everybody deserves the truth. That sentence, it shocked me as much as it shocked him. I, um, I knew that he was at the ski hill. There was rumors. Okay, so there was rumors that he was at the ski hill, and then when we arrived, it was almost noon. Maybe 10:30, 11 when we arrived, and one of the employees we weren't even finished unpacking the car, and one of the employees was like, yeah, Justin Trudeau's here. And we were like, oh, rumor confirmed. And he told us that they had to like shut the road down for 20 minutes so him and his entourage could go through. They shut down the ski rental hut so that his kids could go in and rent equipment. And he goes, yeah, he's up on the slopes. And so we just kind of like, oh yeah, cool. And people are saying that I stalked him and I searched all day for him. I'm not a very good skier, is the truth. And I went up one chairlift and I went down Easy Street twice. And then my knee, I have old knee injury, and it really started acting up. And I was in quite a bit of pain in my knee. And so I sat out for quite a few runs, and then it was time for us to go home and feed our animals. And well, lo and behold, wouldn't you look at that? There's Justin Trudeau. He just walked right past us in the parking lot.
Yeah, it was fortuitous. Huh?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. This is only going to get worse. Like as people get more desperate and they get more angry, like you're going to see more of these. I've seen a couple. Like there was one um, Asian guy went up to Trudeau. He's like, "Hey, Justin, can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Sure." And then when he did the selfie, he goes, "Trudeau's got to go. Trudeau's got to go."
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Um, he's his run is done, I think. It's time. Definitely it's time. He's left his mark. That's for sure.
So I wanted to ask you something. Uh, like they came out and they attacked you quite viciously, and I think they attacked you for your trans opposition to transgenderism and whatnot. And
My
I think they're
opposition, not my opposition to transgenderism, my opposition to sexual orientation and gender ideology in our public education system.
Right,
Sorry
but
to interrupt you.
that's okay, but they didn't frame it that way. They called you
That's right.
anti-trans.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
and I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is gonna get worse and worse and worse until he resigns, and it's almost like a waste of their time. They're trying to stop something that's unstoppable. You're gonna get more people doing what you did.
I think so. People are unhappy. And rightly so. And like I said, that sentence that I said to him, it just kind of fell out of my mouth. It was a very intense moment, a very small moment. And I had an opportunity that I think many Canadians would have liked to have. And in a very short amount of time, I had an opportunity to make an impactful statement. And I think I did that.
My question is, uh, maybe people didn't watch our previous episode. You ran for school board trustee, and that's where the whole anti-trans things comes from. You could phrase it better. But why did they attack you for that? Like you swear at the prime minister and they attack you for something else. I thought that was telling.
Yeah. Well, it's just like ruthlessness, I guess, is what you would call that. They're just going to dig up everything in my history and, well, she did this, well, she did that, discredit her because of this or that or the other thing. And I want to tell the public right now, if perfection is what you're looking for, you've come to the wrong place. I'm a mere mortal. I'm a regular Canadian. I'm an everyday Canadian. I'm middle-aged, got a bit of a colorful past. But I'm yeah, you're not gonna find a perfect record in my history books on Emily Duggan, and so they're gonna use that to every advantage that they can to try to discredit me, to try to make the situation mean less or mean something else, to distract from what it actually means. And when I did it, I was doing it for me. He walked past me in the parking lot, and my reaction was, oh my God, I got something to say to that guy. And it's just like it just came over me, and I just walked over to him and called out, Mr. Prime Minister, and he responded. And I didn't realize until after the fact, when the video had gone viral, that statement was not just about me. That was like a very much afterthought. I did not realize in the moment or at the time that I was representing something. I thought in the moment I was just representing myself.
I'm surprised the team around him hasn't told him, like, Mr. Trudeau, don't go anywhere in public ever again. It just seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, they were I mean they were there. I've seen comments online of like, where was his security? Where was his blah blah blah? I don't know what they're called. They're just the RCMP, I guess, but they were everywhere. They were there. They were very much there. And they weren't very happy that I walked over and shook his hand. I don't think that they could hear what I said. They probably know now what I said. But like my husband and my kids couldn't hear what we were saying to each other. But there was one RCMP officer who was just one step behind me. He followed me right up to him, and an RCMP officer, he tailed us to our car and took photos of us. But he also told us that everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, yeah, there was a very once in a lifetime situation.
I love this comment. You add your name to yet another list. You're probably gonna be on a no-fly list now.
Probably, I'm sure.
Yeah, like sometimes I always remind myself that Justin Trudeau, like, he did this, he deserves this, and he ruined the country. But I almost sometimes feel sorry for the guy. Like, he is singularly hated in this country, and just that poor, like, the smile he had on his face when you told him to get out of PC, and he had to thank you. Like, it's just he should have left a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, talk about reading the room. He's not picking up on the social cues well, that's for sure. Or he's just simply ignoring them. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what that man is thinking ever. But yeah, I think his time has come as run for Prime Minister of Canada, and it's someone else's turn now.
So I'm trying to keep this conversation civil, like not just beating up on Trudeau, but these guys that attacked you on this whole anti-trans claim, are these guys that like harass you online constantly, or like how did this happen?
Yeah. So for the most part, I call them my fan club, and they're like, they know my every move. I mean, sometimes I think they know my move before I make it. It's impressive. It's the dedication from these people is, I mean, it's a marvel. They watch my Rumble channels. If they see me in public, some of the local members of my fan club, they make sure to let me know how they feel about me. It's interesting because a lot of the people that dislike me treat me worse in publicly than the way I spoke to Justin Trudeau.
I saw some of the comments. Prairie says Justin deserves everything he created. He did this. Yeah, some of the comments were really nasty. And it was like they're using really bad words, and they're using language to describe you, which normally adults don't use, which I thought was kind of ironic, considering
Oh
they're
yeah,
accusing
it's
you.
very hypocritical. How could you speak to him like that on his Christmas vacation, Emily? You useless piece of garbage, waste of flesh. Like, I've gotten some pretty interesting messages
Yeah.
from, I've got a couple death threats, lots of go kill yourself. There's a rumor going around that I have an ex-husband, and this imaginary ex-husband that I have has a restraining order against me. And so now there are comments saying, like, I hope the ex-husband has custody of the kids. It's like there's like whole side narratives that are happening now. It's been interesting to watch, that's for sure.
I saw one of them. The guy got community noted. He said you have a criminal record, and then community notes like, no, peace bond is not a criminal record. And he got really upset.
Yeah, a peace bond is not a criminal record. And that peace bond, that's true. I was entered into a peace bond, not with an ex-husband, that I don't have. But it's now expired and without issue. It's null and void now. It's over and done with, and again without issue. So it's not an issue. And that's okay. Like I said, if you're looking for perfection, this is not you've come to the wrong place.
I was going to read Robert Bard's comment. He's a PPC candidate. You reap what you sow. Given the division he has created in Canada and the problems he has caused, we know it was not the first time that this has happened, and it won't be the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I keep going back to the response. So it was kind of funny what you said, but like just the level of attack that they came after you. You don't usually see this. You see it with the trans agenda only. Like if I attacked climate change, I wouldn't have gotten that kind of attack.
Right. Well, I mean, the trans activists, no space for hate, right? Let's follow that mantra. They're the radical trans activist community are radical, and that's how they react. It's venomous, it's ruthless, and it's cutthroat, and the only feelings they care about are theirs. So if you're their target, it's a free-for-all. So I've been a parental rights activist now for 2 years, and it's just become my normal that these people say things like this about me, and there's no use in arguing or fighting. You can't. It's like trying to explain to a 2-year-old or reason with a 2-year-old. You just can't do it. So you just have to like show them something shiny and move on with your day. Like they're not they're not going to be reasoned with. So just allow them to be themselves, I guess, over there. Because I quite honestly, I have so many of them blocked, and I just continue to block them because I just don't have the time in the day to deal with whatever drama they're hoping to create.
Yeah, it's again, I go back, like, something about the trans thing that they attack with a level of viciousness that you don't see with, like, climate change, or if you go against the Ukraine war. And unfortunately for you, you're like in the thick of that.
With like in the thick of what?
Just being a target for the
Oh yeah,
LGBTQ, trans, whatever.
yeah, definitely. And this has just like skyrocketed that immensely.
What is this? I I can't. Duggan is a triad boss, and all the SOGI heroes are doing side quests in their frenzy to level up in their Marxist fever dream. I think it's a video game reference. Um,
Okay,
yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to break that one down for me. I don't really fully understand that.
I don't
Uh,
understand that one either.
so have you gotten like death threats or anything?
Yep. And not just coming out saying outright, I'm going to kill you, but you need to get the beep out of BC in one way or another. That felt threatening. Um, things like kill yourself or karma will do it for you. Um, yeah, just, the regular stuff.
I think you poke the hornet's nest. Probably what happens is, like, the hardcore base of the Liberal Party. They're probably the ones that are coming after you because you discredited their brand.
Yeah, well, I mean that one video of me meeting Justin Trudeau, it did a few things. It really pleased a lot of people. It really upset a lot of people, but apparently our local media outlets had published that he had left town. He wasn't here anymore. And then I posted a video of him being here still. So it kind of outed some dishonest communication between mainstream media and the community.
Nobody
Um,
listens to mainstream media anymore.
and so that was interesting. And I wonder why they would have said that.
That's all they do is they lie. I don't know. Maybe somebody from the Prime Minister's office just fed them information, and they don't even vet this stuff. Who knows? Yeah,
Who knows? Yeah.
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 I'm getting a lot of good comments here. I'm sorry, I keep reading these. This is from Gays Against Grooming Canada. Emily, thank you for always speaking up to protect children in our public education system. Thank you for speaking up for the rights of parents. We support you. There you go. Yay.
Thank you. It's
Uh, Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's important when you see something that needs to be done, you get it done. You don't sit around and wait for someone else to do it. And I think that's what's been happening in this country is we've all just become complacent and comfortable, and we're just kind of sitting around waiting for someone else to do it. And that's not going to cut it anymore. I think every single one of us have a civic duty to participate in one way or another in our communities on whatever topic sparks that flame of passion inside of us. So for me, it's the parental rights. It's child safeguarding, and it's making sure that public education gets back to the basics. So that's how I participate in our communities. But I really want to encourage every Canadian to get involved in one way or another, because if we all work together, we can dig ourselves out of this mess that Mr. Prime Minister got us into.
So hold on to that thought about parental rights. I'm going to come back and ask you specifically with your run and everything. So many good comments here. I stand with Emily Duggan. So that's Gypsy. Hey, where'd the other one go? Thanks for doing that for us. It was good. I loved it. Here's a question. I think it's a question. We love you, Emily. I admire your honesty. We are angry, very angry. How did you happen to be on the mountain? Wow. I guess she didn't catch your earlier answer.
Oh, that's our local ski hill. We live near it, and I am not a good skier. I used to ski when I was much, much younger. My family skis, and usually it's something that my kids and my husband do together. That's like the daddy kid time. But on the 27th, they begged me to come with them. They wanted to show me their new moves and their skills and how good they've gotten. And to like sweeten the deal, my husband was like, Justin Trudeau will be there. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll come. And so I was at Red Mountain skiing with my family, jokingly fantasizing about meeting Justin Trudeau on like the very beginner level runs that we were going on, which like was just, what is it called? I think they call it Easy Street. It's not even a run. It doesn't even qualify as a run. And so it was funny. There's lots of rumors saying that I was like stalking around the mountain looking for him. I'm not nearly good enough of a skier to accomplish that. I had hurt my knee, so I was like limping around. I ripped my snow pants. It was quite the scene. It was really comical, actually. I was very disheveled when I met Justin Trudeau. We were leaving. The day was over for our family. We were tired. My knee was on fire. An old injury was like awoken and really angry. So I was in pain, and my kids were like tired and cranky. My husband was like, we gotta go. And Justin Trudeau just walked right past me.
I have a feeling that after this, whatever vitriol came your way is going to come deflected to me. But what do we got? Airworks. Thank you for saying this to him. Good for you for having the courage to stand up to this evil dictator. I love this one. Right ire. By any chance, does the Duggan family surf in Tofino in summer?
My husband would love that. My kids would probably love that too. As of yet, we've never done that.
Man, I'm loving the engagement. Truisms are true. Did security give you a hassle, Emily? Again, you answered this, but
no. I think, I don't know what happened. I'm speculating here. But I believe what happened was, hi Chad, was while we were leaving, he was leaving too. And so they had a perimeter around him, but when he walked past us, it put us inside of the perimeter. And so it was just such an innocent thing. I am sure that those RCMP officers, I'm sure there was a meeting about that afterwards. But yeah, like I didn't jump any yellow tape. I didn't push anybody out of the way. It was a very innocent, natural, spontaneous encounter.
yeah, I'm guessing they're going to tighten security after that.
Mm-hmm.
Remanded said easy runs equal the bunny hills. What do we got? Airworks. I hope you can ignore the people freaking out about you swearing in front of a kid. So what? He destroyed our country. Good for you. I didn't know this one. Family football. I saw that you made it to the front page of a newspaper in China. Is that true?
That's true.
Oh man, you're international now.
Yeah. I don't know what it says.
All right, so let's try to refocus this and make this at least a somewhat of a serious episode. So are you running again for public school board trustee?
I'd like to. We'll see what happens. The next school board trustee election in British Columbia is 2026. So I've got a year. I've said that I would. And I think I probably will.
So
this might help me.
I was going to say, usually I get the guests to do a plug at the end, but is there anywhere that they can, I know you have a podcast of your own?
Yeah, I do have my own podcast. It's called A Conversation with Emily. It's on Rumble under Mums Against the Norm. So our Rumble channel is Mums Against the Norm. My podcast is A Conversation with Emily. And I just discuss with other people gender ideology, its effects on individuals, the community, and our public education. I really try to stick in in that sort of area. I've got some pretty good episodes out there. I've interviewed a couple of detransitioners who are Canadian, because this is happening in Canada, in every single community across the country. Somebody you know or yourself is affected by this. Our kids are being taught as early as 5 years old that a human being can be born in the wrong body, that being a woman is a feeling, or being a man is a feeling. Our children as young as 5 years old are being taught that they're being taught pleasure education, and it's being presented as sexual education, sex ed. And it's not the same thing. There's a difference between teaching somebody how their body works and teaching somebody how to pleasure themselves or their partner. And that's what our kids are being taught right now. So it's really important to get engaged and pay attention and speak up about that. And that's what I do on my podcast. And so anybody who has been affected by it or who has a story to share, I'd love to get in contact with you and have a conversation with you, maybe have you as a guest on my podcast, because these stories, the more we can get them out, the more people we can engage, and hopefully the more people we can reach and say this is real and it is a problem and it is affecting families in our communities in a negative way. We need to relook these policies, and we need to move forward making policies more responsibly. So
Ryan Stooch says, so proud of you, Emily. You made my day.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank God. I never get this level of love. You the boss. Love you, Emily. Didn't get my pre-Christmas election, but this is almost made up for it. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Here's one that's relevant to you. It's not about Trudeau. Even our homeschool group is rehearsing pronouns at 5. It is definitely grooming, sometimes subtly. Rid ourselves of the NDP. I guess I could convert that into a question. Do you have any experience with this pronouns at 5? And do you think this is exclusively the problem of the NDP?
I think this is no, I don't think it's exclusively a problem of the NDP. I think it's infected all of society, regardless of your political stance. And it is mandated in BC. I can speak specifically to BC because that's where I live and that's what I know. But I can also say that similar things are happening across the country. But in BC, it is mandated that SOGI 1, 2, 3 be available in every district and every school across the province. So there is the potential for every 5-year-old in the province to be presented with pronouns and being taught it. However, it is not being taught in every classroom. Not every 5-year-old is learning it, because in British Columbia, teachers have full autonomy over the resources that they use in their classrooms. And so if a teacher is teaching these things, it's because they've chosen to.
I didn't know that. Is there an effort to try to get rid of that choice amongst teachers?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, it sounds like the first thing they would do. What about the other one? I don't know if you actually answered that directly. Are they using teaching pronouns at age 5?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can be. It could be. They could be. Any teacher could, yes. But that doesn't mean that it's happening in every class. That's the part about SOGI which makes it really confusing, and it deters people from wanting to get involved because it's not clear. Because a lot of people, they don't understand the education system. Again, we've become complacent. We've trusted the system to take care of our children. And now all of a sudden, over years, that trust has been slowly disrespected and misused. And now it's coming out what's being taught in our schools, or what potentially could be being taught and supported and allowed to be taught. And society is in a situation where it's just impossible for every single person to pull their kid out of public school. It's just, that's not a reality that's going to be able to happen. We've got so many single parent homes in this country. It's not feasible for every family to homeschool their child. We need the public education system. We need it for our society to work. And now we're in a place where that system, it's totally screwed our trust over by teaching things to our kids that is like a home value thing. Like, these are home values that should be coming from the home, and we should be allowed to come up with those on our own in our own families. Hope all of that made sense.
No, it made perfect sense. You used the phrase disrespected. When I talk to voters, they either they're not really as well informed as you and I on these issues, or they want to dance around it so they don't confront transgenderism and all that in schools directly. They say that they're disrespecting parents. They're undermining the authority of parental rights. And I'm noticing this more and more. Like, I'll go to a dinner. I don't tell anybody that I'm, in politics, and I just sit there. At some point, someone, usually a woman, is going to get up and say, I'm very concerned about this in school. How do you see that as well?
Yeah. Yes, I see lots of parents that are unhappy with what's going on in our public education system. And many of them, for whatever reason, usually fear of one thing or another, will not speak out.
No, I agree, and that's why they do it in private. So, like, people want to be good people. Nobody wants to say mean things about some kid who's going through difficulties, like if they have gender dysphoria. So they're very honest. What they say is, a child at age 10, like, doesn't understand anything, doesn't know what that child is, man, boy or girl, and it's just wrong to transition them at that age.
Yeah, I think it's wrong to transition a child. I think my personal opinion is that a human being should not enter into the medicalization of transitioning from male to female until over the age of 25, because that is when the majority of humans are finished developing.
Okay,
So
it's
I
a
don't.
good it's
Yeah.
a good age to put it at. I get where you're coming from. You're coming at it medically. Usually, people come at it legally, and they say whenever you can vote or whatever. But
Mhm.
still, like, you shouldn't do it to children. What I'm trying to say is that, like, these are good people. Like, they have children. They understand. They have love in their heart. So they don't want to come out and ostracize some kids that might be different, and they're put in a difficult spot.
Well, it's like having neighbors that have a different religion than you. You're not going to go over to your neighbor's kid and tell them that their God is not real. I mean, I'm
Good
not going to
point.
do that. Like,
No, that's a good point. Um, there was a question earlier from Ramandit. Have you reached out to Billboard Chris?
I don't know how to get a hold of Billboard Chris. There's so many rumors on what social media platforms he's on and what ones he's not on, and what's a fake account and what's a real account. And I'm just not very internet savvy, to tell the truth. I don't know how to work all of those things. I have an X account, Mums Against the Norm. I am not on it regularly. I don't even know how. I think it took me 3 months to figure out how to send a message on X. But so the short answer is no. I haven't had any dialogue with Billboard Chris, but I would love to. I am a big fan of his work. And if he sees this, thanks for everything you've done, Chris. You're a real Canadian hero. Yeah. I'm
Well, we'll
just
try.
a mom. I'm just a mom who swore at Trudeau.
I mean, I'll try to tag him in here. I doubt he follows me. If there's anyone in the chat that knows how to get hold of him, put him in touch with Emily, or by extension me.
Yeah, I'd love to just, I mean, if nothing else, thank him personally.
That will definitely, you'll get the full trans community coming after you if you do that, because they hate him more than they hate you.
Imagine if we teamed up.
Oh my lord, yeah. Let's see if he's open to it. Uh, oh, the Remanded says his DMs are. Well, let me bring this up. Billboard Chris's DMs are open for what it's worth since you've gone international. Yeah. Remanded, if you can put his Twitter handle here, I'll just put it up on the screen. He's a guy to find, but while he's doing that, I had a question. You mentioned parental rights. How would why do you support parental rights? Like, what's your philosophical argument behind it? And how would strengthening parental rights help children in schools?
We know it's proven time and time again, study after study, that children are more successful in life when they have supportive, caring support from their family. We know that. That is why parental rights are important. Because with proper parental rights in place, parents will be able to support their children. Caring and supportive parents will be able to care and support their children into success.
Good answer.
It's very simple. This is not a hard concept. Children do better in life in every avenue when their caring and supportive family members are allowed to be involved in their lives.
Well, I mean, the kids belong to the parents. The parents, nobody loves their kids more than the parents do. So this makes sense.
Our children in British Columbia, they go into kindergarten at grade 5. So I know that every family is different, and some kids go to daycare as soon as they're 3 months old or whatever. But let's just stay with me for a minute. The parents raise that child for 5 years successfully. Okay. And then they put that child in the public education system. And now all of a sudden the public education system thinks they know how to do it better. When those caring and supportive family members have raised that child for 5 years, lovingly, supportingly, I think I just made that word up, but and now all of a sudden the parents aren't good enough and don't know what they're doing. Explain that one to me. This does not make sense. The dots are not connecting. Yeah, this is not rocket science, people.
Agent Blusky, actually, I interviewed her as well. I think her name is Sherry. The government has no jurisdiction over parental rights. Use the Constitution 1867. This is a parental issue. Parental rights, children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every household needs the right to be able to raise their family as they see fit, following the religion that they believe in, or choosing to have no religion. And no government institution should be able to inject ideologies or other religions into a family's children without permission. And that's what's happening. And that's what I speak up against.
So you said something and it made something click in my mind. You said, you wouldn't go to your neighbor's kids and tell them what religion to believe. If you think of an ideology like transgenderism as a religion, the government is telling you what religion to follow. Basically telling you what you should think.
Yes, that's what's happening.
Glad you agree. What do we got from the Remanded? That's Billboard Chris. He copied and pasted. He said, "First time hearing about you myself." He's talking about you, Emily. "As a father of 3, cheers for speaking out." So you're getting mad respect.
Thank you.
I'd like to think family football is talking about me, but I think he's talking about you. You're so well spoken.
I mean, I think there's 20% of Canada that would disagree with you on that one, family football.
What else do we got? The government doesn't have the right to tell you how to raise your children. Man, these guys agree with you.
We in Canada, we already have safety measures put in place for children who are being abused, because the fact of the matter is there are unsafe homes in this country for children. That's fact. And I don't want to take away from that. And there are already protocols, safety procedures, and rescue procedures for children that are in distressful situations to get them out, to get them the help that they need and the support to become successful and be in a safe environment. We do not need to implement more procedures that are the exact same, but designed for a specific demographic that is so far below minority. That is a waste of our resources. That is a waste of our manpower and our energy. It's redundant. And we need to start being more thoughtful when taking on concepts like that.
I wanted to say something. You and I, we have a mutual friend. She's the host of the weekly Gender Wars Report, I think. And
Mhm.
I had her on, and she said to the government, parents are sort of like baby factories. They produce babies, they raise them up until 5, and then the government expects you to hand that baby over to the public education system after that.
Mhm. That's Melanie Bennett.
You outed her. I didn't say it. I alluded.
She's lovely. She's lovely. And I highly recommend anybody watching this to watch her weekly Gender Wars report. I think did she rename it? I can't remember. She's wonderful. Yeah, I highly recommend her.
Yeah, you tell me what you think about what she said. I'll bring her logo up.
About parents being baby factories for the government to take. Well, yeah, they need people to do the dirty work for them. They're not going to come down here and build cars or pave roads or turn wrenches. Like, I do agree with Melanie. Yeah.
Smart cookie. Okay, we got gays against grooming again. Yeah, this is the Canada branch. LGBTQ plus represents radical activism. LGB represents the actual people, and 99% of lesbian, gay, and bisexual people stand with parents. Leave the kids alone. People who are interested in becoming trans need to be informed after age 25. Fully agree. Well, agree.
Yeah.
It's
gay and bisexual people stand with parents. Yeah. And you know what? We've got gay and bisexual people, lesbians that are parents that are not okay with this. I mean, the community, the community itself is divided on the topic. And I think that's all we need to know about that. Well, okay, until you guys figure it out, like, we're not taking it mainstream.
I'm telling you, like, you should just announce right now that you're going to run for school board trustee in 2026. Citizens like you are good candidates for school board trustees and municipal government. Change Canada from the ground up.
Yeah, I think that needs to happen. And I think that your everyday Canadian absolutely needs to get involved in your community politics, municipal level. Start small. You got to walk before you can run, and get engaged and get involved. We need real people in these positions to help make real decisions that are going to affect other real people. Because we have people in these positions who are making these decisions, and they're not living like us. They do not understand what it's like to work 3 jobs in 1 week and still not be able to put food on your table. And so, and that's kind of how they've gotten us, hey? As I say that, something just clicked in my brain, is like, well, how are we supposed to have time to get involved? And that's kind of where they've gotten us. And that's why I have gotten involved, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so I do have the time. And I want to encourage people who do have the time, step up. And don't let what you're seeing them do to me discourage you. You can ignore it. The internet is not real life. You can turn it off and walk away.
Or you can come on in lay terms where you have a friendly environment where everybody loves you.
Yeah. And you know what? Everybody doesn't even need to like you. That's not even what it's about. It's just about being level-headed and doing good things with purpose.
We have a message from our friend Melanie. I love being outed by you two awesome people. So everybody go check out her Canadian Culture Wars report on YouTube.
Yeah, do that.
She does some good stuff. It goes over my head, her understanding of Marxism, just like
she's highly intelligent. She's so good. A lot of stuff. I learn a lot from Melanie. Like I said, I am a very average Canadian. I'm a farm wife, a farm mom, and that's what I know. I know how to bake really nice pies and muck out a stall. So it's very nice to have conversations with people like Melanie and like you, because I get to learn. I take away something every single time.
Oh, Melanie's in a different league. Like when I talk to her and she starts naming off all these Marxists, I'm like, slow down, slow down. Does
No,
not compute.
she's
Um,
she's
here's a
wonderful.
question. Here's a question from Shareware. I don't know if I can't answer this. How does the Infants Act work into the puberty blocker issue? Do you know that?
I can't explain that, and I don't want to try because I don't want to get it wrong. I Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. That's a great question.
I definitely can't answer that. Uh, it is very hard to remain level-headed when you're so angry with about what is happening. I admire you for staying positive and calm when bad things are being said about you online. That is true. Like I think you've probably gone through this before. Is that why you're so tough?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been a parental rights advocate for 2 years now. I've run for school board trustee twice. I've very publicly said some things that are very unpopular with the left side of society. And so for 2 years, I have been having things said about me publicly online. I've been accosted in person. The really hypocritical thing is I've been spat on in my grocery store with my kids with me and called the C word in front of my kids, probably by somebody who thinks it's terrible that I said the F word in front of Trudeau's kid. And so it's interesting because I'm nowhere as public or on the level as Justin Trudeau, and people treat me worse than I treated him all the time. I have to prep my kids every time we go out into public, just in case something happens. We have a plan. I have 2 children under the age of 10, and the youngest one goes behind me and holds on to my belt loop, and the oldest one goes behind her and puts her arms around her and holds on to 2 belt loops on either side of her, and we walk backwards out of the situation. And
Jeez.
I don't have a security team that follows me around everywhere I go. I'm on my own, Mr. Prime Minister, and I handle it like a boss too. So just for the record.
I'm gonna clip that out. There's a meme right there. Yeah. Here's a comment from the Remanded. Where can one order farm fresh pie and a T-shirt to support your work?
Well, I don't recommend mailing pies. So I don't know where you are, but depending on where you are, you probably won't get to experience a pie. But if you email me, I might be able to help you out with a shirt. And you can email me at mumsagainstthenorm@gmail.com. I've been getting a lot of emails lately, so give me a little bit to get back to you.
So there was a question from Mexitalo. What is Melanie's website? Mexitalo, it's this one, right? Canadian Culture Wars Report.
Yeah, you can find Melanie on YouTube.
She's also on X, but Melanie, if you want to share your X handle, you got to put it in the comments. I'll bring it up. Emily, you rock. Thank you for your stance, your strength, your tenacity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gypsy. Man, you're getting so much support. Good for you and for your courage and for your family for supporting you. Yeah, way to go.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know Kirk Reese? He's a whistleblower. So this guy is tough as nails. He's with the Canadian Armed Forces. He's a ranger. So he's like special forces. Thank you for speaking up. It makes a huge difference.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't really want to drag the show on. I thought we'd be here for like 15 minutes, just joking, but man, the love you're getting here. Yeah, like I don't know. Any last words that you want to leave the audience?
The best way to protect your kid from SOGI 123 indoctrination in British Columbia public education is to get involved in your kid's educational experience. Make sure you're on first name basis with their teacher. Make sure you're on first name basis with their principal. I know that you are all working very hard, and it's extra to create relationships. But these relationships with school staff are important because they are your kids' safe adults when you're not around for the majority of the week. And if they can get to know you and understand why you do not support resource guides from SOGI 123, they are more willing to go to bat for you and stand up for you when the time comes. So take that extra 5 minutes, pick up and drop off, and go in and say hi to your teacher or your principal. It will make the difference. It will make all of the difference.
And if you could just do a final plug for where they can email you and where they can watch your podcast.
Yeah, so you can find my Rumble page. My page on Rumble is Mums Against the Norm. My podcast on Rumble is called A Conversation with Emily. And my email is mumsagainstthenorm@gmail.com. And just remember, I am a busy farm. I might be a stay-at-home mom, but I have a little farm, and I tell you, I work every day. So if it takes a little bit for me to respond to you, please know I'm not ignoring you. I'm just a busy lady.
Well, Emily, thank you very much for coming on, and thanks for bringing some laughter into our lives with your comments. And I don't know, stay safe and be careful out there. There's a lot of crazy people after you.
Yeah, well, you said it. Thank you very much for having me, Payman. And I hope you have a really good New Year. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to everybody else. 2026. Wait, what year are we going into? 2025. It's going to be, I mean, you can only go up once you've been down, right?
Yeah, this is like bottom of the barrel. Things will get better. This is the dawn. What
Yeah.
It's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah, here's looking towards 2025 for positive change for every single one of us.
All right, I'll have a tequila shot for you on New Year's Eve.
Thank you.
All right, Emily, take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye for now.